Rated amongst the fastest growing digital television network in the world, Television Nigerian hosted students from schools in the Federal Capital Territory to a Democracy Day speech contest. The maiden edition of the Television Nigerian Leadership Series Democracy Day contest is aimed at developing the mindset of students and pupils in preparation for a successful career. The event had in attendance participants from Government Secondary School, Karu, Blooms College, Karu, Redeemer Dominion City International and Community Secondary School, Asokoro. Other schools which participated in the contest are Loyola Jesuit College, Wisdom Field Academy, Flora Homes Academy, Epitome Model Islamic School, Government Secondary School, Karishi, among others. Contestants were examined via 6 minutes public presentation, compartment, delivery, and interaction with the audience. Mr. Linus Okori, the Chief Executive Officer of Guardian of the Nation, thanked organizers of the event for the innovation, which according to him is amazing. Also speaking at the event, a former presidential aspirant, Mr. Tokwe Fashua, preached on the essence of managing the country's economy, which he said is the greatest asset of the country. Television Nigerian Charles Ibe encouraged participants to imbibe good leadership skills by keeping to date with unfolding events in the society. Ibe advised students from participating schools to learn the tenets of leadership by building themselves through obedience to laid down rules and regulations in their respective schools and the society. The event drew dignitaries from all walks of life, including the political class, members of the academia, and media groups. High point of the event was the presentation of a star prize of 50,000 naira to the best participating school, Loyola Jesuit College, and a trip abroad.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's calling to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for our great country, Nigeria. The national anthem is a prayer for our country and also a prayer for ourselves. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I would like to introduce some very distinguished personalities that are going to serve as judges and also motivational speakers to us for this event. But before I do that, I'd like to also recognize all the schools here present in no particular order. It's not easy to represent your school in a competition. I remember when I was growing up, I represented my school in a competition, and since then it has not been well with the school. You know, sometimes in the name of your school alone, you know that you have failed the competition. So for all of you that your parents are privileged to take you to a better school, please, first and foremost, all the students, please clap for your parents. Please clap for them. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, we don't want to take our time because time is not on our side because of the hold up in town. A lot of our schools they are caught up in the hold up. Those that came from Asokoro, Karo, Maraba, please clap for them. Please clap for them. Karo, Maraba, Kurudu. The reason being that because of the hold up there, I'm very sure they started coming since yesterday. The hold up in that area is not. That's the kind of hold up. If you give birth to a child in that hold up, the child must be slow in life because the hold up is not moving. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recognize and welcome one of our distinguished judges for tonight, for today. Please, let's put our hands together and make it very loud for the head of our judges, Mr. Dadson Ogbo. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes to the high table. And I also like to recognize and welcome to the high table Mr. Ado Adedoyin. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Adedoyin. As he comes to the high table, we are getting close to the competition. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Mr. Toby Prince. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Toby Prince. Ladies and gentlemen, the only lady, please, let's put our hands together for Sandra Guana. Please, a round of applause for her. In a competition like this, please, it's not a political affair. It's not my school more pass your school and all that. You know, when we're growing up, it used to be competition. Our parents want us to always beat the next person. So then my dad will come to school and pick my results. And when I was growing up, I used to be very brilliant, but not from the front, from the back. You know, there was one time out of 31 students, I took 31. So I knew that I'm in trouble. So when I was going home, the Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. So I decided to use TPS and I cleaned the 3. Now remain first. So when I got home, I showed my mom the result. My mom was excited. You know, women, they didn't even bother to check the grades. She was just excited, dancing. Oh, my son took first. She gave me rice and chicken. As I wanted to start, my father came in. He knew his son. He said there was no way my son will carry first. He took the rice and the chicken. I said, Daddy, check the result. Check the result. My dad said, keep quiet. He said, what did you come out with? I said, Daddy, check the result. I didn't know that my dad went to buy a machine in our house. If you lie, the machine will flog you. My dad said, what did you come out with? I said, Daddy, first. The machine gave me whee! I said, Daddy, sorry, second. The machine gave me whee! I said, Daddy, not 31. The machine didn't flog me. My dad got carried away. And he said, look at you. You are a disgrace to this family. In my days when I was in school, I used to come out first. The machine flogged my father. My father says, sorry, my son is second. The machine gave me, yeah. My dad said, don't worry, my son, like father, like son. So it's not a do or die. It's not, I must overtake him. You understand? And when we were growing up in those days, our parents used to help us. So these days we must help teachers, we must help them. You know, I wasn't catching up fast. When I was growing up, my mom called me, they beat me from school because of simple mathematics. 2 minus 2. I wrote 10. When I got home, my mom now was not trying to encourage me. He said, no, my son, it's not like that. Imagine I gave you 2 akara and you ate it. What will remain? I said, mommy, the granite oil. So we have to be patient with our words. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming very close to the competition. But before we start, I would like to welcome the head of station of TVN. Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Charles to give us the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, please, we have Mr. Charles here to give us the welcome address. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Charles.
Thank you, good afternoon, and welcome everybody. Welcome wonderful young people from our secondary schools in Abuja and environment. We welcome also your handlers, your teachers who brought you here. Thank you very much for making it through all the hurdles. We have to apologize on behalf of Nigeria. It's Democracy Day. We had to, a lot of security measures are being put in place, and as a result, there's a lot of hold-ups and all. And I understand a lot of us had to spend some time on the hold-up. Thank you very much for making it out of that. And it's a wonderful day to be alive in Nigeria. It's a wonderful day to be young. It's a wonderful day for us to be students. We are all students. We learn every day, although we are no longer wearing uniform like you guys are doing. But it's wonderful to have young, fresh faces. The future of Nigeria is here. The future of Africa is here. The future of the world is here. Believe me, seated right here is the future president of Nigeria. If you believe that, please give yourself a wonderful round of applause. Yes. Here also we have future ministers, we have future legislators, we have future doctors, nurses, engineers, carpenters, drivers. All these people they are all important, you know. So on behalf of Television Nigerian, I welcome you all to this wonderful occasion. The first in a series of leadership advocacy. We call it leadership advocacy. Why has it become important? Because we look around and we find out that a lot of things are going wrong in the society. It's a consensus that the elders have failed. Believe it or not. Many young people actually believe that the elders have failed. You know, we had, not quite long ago, we had the agitation for not too young to run. Young people want to take part, young people want to be leaders. But how are we going to be leaders if we don't start early to know about leadership? You understand? It starts from very, very little. If you want to be a president, you start thinking like a president right when you are small. And it demands a lot. What do we know about leadership? Right now, democracy is the hallmark of leadership all over the world. It's the most acceptable form of leadership. So, Nigeria has embraced democracy. Today, we are celebrating 20 years of uninterrupted democracy. And we look around, who are the people? We have a lot of old people, people in their 70s, people in their 80s. Nature will call soon. Some of them will die. There will be a lot of vacuum. And then, who are those people that will take over? Old men exit the stage. The game is on. The young people have a field now. Not too young to run has been passed. But where are the young people to take over? You know, despite all the challenges, remove the money and all of that, a lot of young people are not prepared because they don't know the next thing about democracy. So, we are starting this leadership series. Today is the first edition. It's going to be an annual challenge. And not just for today. We are going to be partnering with a lot of schools. We are all lucky to be among the pioneers. We are going to start up leadership series to ensure that these ones we harness today, we groom and we nurture through series of programs, competitions, outings. You know, you go out. Sometimes you need to travel out. You meet young people, young leaders in the diaspora doing great things. So it's going to be a leadership. It's a continuum. It's not a one-off. So don't think we just come here today and do this thing and you go away. No, we are going to take it up. We care about you. Today we are going to have leaders, future leaders, emerge through this competition. Somebody has to win, but there's not going to be nobody will lose because everybody will be winners. But of course, there has to be somebody that will go home with a grand prize. Then all of you here are all winners. We are all in the process of building Nigeria, and you are privileged to be pioneers to this great work that is starting. It's the first time. The next episode of this great event is going to be bigger and better, and you are going to be part of it. You are going to be in the mix. You are going to be part of the future, so that tomorrow when you become a president, you will know that that journey started one day in Merit's house on June 12, 2019, when you had to stand in the presence of mommies, daddies, uncles, brothers, friends, and talk about democracy. So, it's a speak your dreams, speak your dreams, speak your dreams, speak. There is the power in the spoken words. You understand? So today we are speaking democracy. The next time we'll meet, maybe during the series that will come up, we are going to do a lot of trainings. We are going to be learning a lot about leadership, how to be leaders. And it's very, 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 very key and important because in schools, right now, in schools, I don't know about your school, but in most schools in the FCT and in states across Nigeria, we have issues. Cultism is a big issue. Drug abuse is a big issue. Lateness to school, truancy, lying, stealing. Some people even tap pen and stuff and will overlook it. It's all part of it. So through this, if we develop young leaders who in their own small space begin to influence their neighbors, begin to influence their brothers and sisters, taking home, mommy, dad, you can even change the attitude of your parents. I've seen families where young children call their parents to a dialogue. Daddy, no, what you did is not good. Mommy, please don't talk to daddy like that. They'll be surprised and they will, oh, wow. And it will be a result of what you are going to be picking up from this platform. So please, I want to welcome you once again and say congratulations in advance. We are all winners and we are all partners in a journey that has started today. You will not regret you are a part of this. Thank you very much. Relax, relax, and relax. And then, congratulations once more. Welcome to Television Nigerian Leadership Series 1. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Please make the applause louder. I really think we really need to do more. Appreciate Television Nigerian for bringing this up. You know why? Now, it's going to be a series. Well, they are going to be nurturing, or we are going to be nurturing young ones to actually pursue their dream and become what they want to be. Not just, leadership cuts across. It's not just political leadership. You can be a leader in your business, in your home, as an IT person, as a musician, as a dancer, character is very, very important. And the reason I'm saying this is because we didn't have the opportunity to get people that will nurture us, that will mentor us to become what we want to be. Like, for instance, take myself for example. I am an engineer by profession, but I'm a comedian by frustration. Abroad you see people and tell you, what do you want to be in future? I want to be the president of the United States. That was what Obama said when he was a baby. They nurtured him, followed him, became Nigeria. What do you want to be in the future? I want to be an aeronautic engineer. The person will laugh you. Don't worry, they're big. This guy that is covering video is a medical doctor, but now see, nobody to manage. Thank God for Television Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for Television Nigeria. So we're going to have a very wonderful time. All the students, you are very, very privileged to be born at this time. You are very privileged. Clap for your parents again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are stepping into the competition. No cheating. Now, the reason I'm saying no cheating is because when I was growing up, I will tell you people later. So it's time for the competition. I'm going to hand over the mic now to the head of the judges. I don't know, sir, Mr. Charles, so that we can have the names of everybody, all the students that are going to be participating, so that we can introduce them and welcome them specially. These are future speech writers, future presidents, future governors, and future comedians. That's one of the best professions in Nigeria right now, because everybody is angry. We need people to make them laugh. So as soon as we get the name, we introduce them, and we will commence. Gentlemen, please, sorry. I would like to welcome to the high table, please, if your hands are not busy, for Honorable Daniel Ajayi. Please, a round of applause for him. Is the Councillor Eke Ward in Akpoku Local Government of Benue State. Please, a round of applause for Honorable Daniel Ajayi as he comes to the high table. You're welcome. All right, in no particular order, I'd like to welcome all our participating students. Please, as soon as I mention their names, please clap for them, whether they are from your school or they are not from your school. But if they are from your school, just make some noise for them. From GSS Carol, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's put our hands together for Oge Joy. GSS Carol. Oge Joy, please come out, Oge Joy. From Blossom College, Carol, please, a round of applause for Ademokoya Damilola. Please, a round of applause for Damilola. Blossom College, Carol. From Redeemer Dominion Seat International, please, a round of applause for Chidebere James. Please, a round of applause for Chidebere James. From Redeemer Dominion Seat International. And also from Community Secondary School Asokoro. Please, a round of applause for Godstream Ehimero. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Ehimero. Loyola Jesuit College, please, let's make welcome Anierobi Gimkachi. Please, a round of applause for him. For her. Please, a round of applause for her. Also, from Loyola Jesuit, we have Ogunleye Tinwokolua. Please, a round of applause for her. Please, you both should pardon me if I'm not pronouncing the names very correctly. It's because I didn't grow up in Nigeria, actually. I grew up in the UK. That's University of Kano. From La Vogue International School, ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for Chisom Eze. And from Wisdom Field Model Academy, a round of applause for Peace Samuel. We also like to recognize and welcome from Flora Homes International School, Jikoi, a round of applause for Daniel Chidu. A round of applause for Daniel Chidolue. Please, a round of applause for him. From Epitome Model Islamic School, let's put our hands together for Sadiq Ahmed Sahid. Please, a round of applause. And from Government Secondary School, Karchi, please, a round of applause for Esther Kayode. Please, let's clap for them. Let's clap for them. You shall reap whatsoever you sow. When you clap for people, people will clap for you. We also like to recognize and welcome the presence of Mrs. Mercy Ella as we welcome her to the high table. Please, a round of applause for her as she comes to the high table. You're welcome, ma. It's good to see you again.
Our criteria for judgment includes the following. Okay, each contestant would have 5 minutes. How many minutes? 6 minutes. Okay, so you will be graded on a scale of 1 to, and on the points raised, we would also judge you on the time. So it's important that you do not speak beyond that to connect with the audience. So these are the criteria we will judge you on. I wish you all the best, and
the students of Global International. I am very pleased standing before as a political system which provides regular opportunities for changing the government throughout the world. Democracy is by far the most popular form of government. In a democracy, the political office holder must obtain the support of the majority through election. Leaders are therefore accountable to citizens. Democracy ensures accountability of the ruler to the ruled. Fundamental human rights are guaranteed in democracy. Decisions reflect the wishes of the majority in the decision of the government. Democracy is a system of government that provides fair and equal treatment of everyone in an organization or society. Democracy provides national unity to the country because in our country today, we witness conflicts between one another, and democracy is a means of providing unity and peace. Situation or period of time in which there is no war or violence in the country or an area. Peace and unity are similar. Democracy brings about peace in the country and it helps to make individuals live in unity and not being involved in any form of disagreement. Democracy is a tool for sustainable development because it brings about the growth of something so that it becomes more advanced, stronger, and organized. Democracy is very important in our country today because it enhances the growth of the community and it is a means of manufacturing goods and organizations in the country. Some of the main characteristics or features of democracy are political liberty, value of personality, political parties, secret ballot, national wealth, provision of employment, etc. Political liberty in the sense that the equal rights of all normal adults to vote and be voted for. In the case of political parties, it brings about others to vote and be voted for. In the case of political parties, it brings about unity of different people with one goal to come together, forming a political party. For national wealth, disparity in the distribution of national wealth. When people vote and the majority carries the vote, that is a free and fair election. There won't be need for riots or violent campaign against the government and the people. Some merits of democracy are stability, equality of individuals, decision making, tolerance, legitimacy, etc. Stability is being promoted by the government and democracy in the country. A bad government can be peacefully removed from the office through the process of voting. There is individual equality, freedom and protection of their possession and their rights where democracy operates. Democracy encourages tolerance of the views of the opposition. The minority will have their say, while the majority will have peace, national unity and stability. Democratically, is this political dispensation. Democracy enhances and promotes peace and sustains development. In conclusion, democracy helps to develop and maintain peace in the country so that people can live a peaceful and enjoyable life. It also brings about harmony in the country. Voters in a true democracy must have a choice of candidates and political parties. This ensures there are varieties of ideologies and policies. The parties or candidates must have time and freedom to organize and ascend the case before elections. Political freedoms must be allowed as much as possible. At the end of the day, it is expected that the best party or candidates must have chosen by the electorate. Thank you.
From Loyola Jesuit College. Please put our hands together. Gini Kachi. Please a round of applause for her.
distinguished guests, my fellow contestants, John. Between the National Republican Convention, represented by Mr. Bashir Tofa, and the Southern Democratic Party, represented by Moshood Olawale Abiola from the MKO Abiola. Now, this election resulted in MKO Abiola being declared as the winner, but the election was annulled by the then military dictator, General Ibrahim Babangida. Now, the purpose of this election to Nigerians was for today talks about the need for democracy to promote stability, peace, and unity in our nation. For me, I believe that this can be achieved, and I would like to throw out some suggestions towards this. The first is the need for a free and a fair election. Have you ever wondered why people shy away from election and become politically apathetic? It's not because they are not interested, but it's because they are trying to protect their lives. Somebody will come out and vote normally, and the next thing you hear, somebody is dead. This, as a patriotic citizen, I believe that we can have a free and fair election as a democratic nation. Secondly, we need to say no to corruption. Corruption has become a major problem in Nigeria, and this needs to stop. People take bribes unnecessarily just to cover up crimes that are against the law. This isn't fair. We can be a democratic nation where corruption is completely eradicated. Also, as citizens, we should obey the rule of law. Nobody is above the rule of law, and by nobody, I also mean the people in authority. Everybody is under the law. Therefore, as citizens, we must obey the law. And anyone who doesn't must be punished severely. This is what I call a democratic nation. Finally, I would like to end on a point to note. The best civilian government is the worst military government. But the best military government is the worst civilian government. Thank you.
However, I feel honored to have been selected by the organizers to speak on this topic, democracy as a tool for national unity, peace, and stability. Democracy has been rated world over as the best form of government. No wonder the maxim, the worst democracy is better than the best military government, was coined by social analysts to reflect the battered experience of Nigeria, having experienced military rule for 28 years. That's democracy, in its simple parlance, is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This accounts for why it is said to be the people's government, because it is the government that is people-based. But democracy does not refer to the aggregate decisions of the entire populace. That is why it is the phenomenon of majority decision, where the minority will always have their say, but the majority will have their way. The majority, either simple or absolute, determines the pace of progress in the democracy. The origin of democracy can be traced back to the ancient city of Athens in Greece, where majority decisions about the community were based on the will of the majority of the people. They used the town hall, or better still, the village squares, as the yardstick to collate the views and opinions of their people on the continuous issues. Thus, the process of electing representatives and leaders was based on this principle. Therefore, Athens became the birthplace of democracy. It was Abraham Lincoln, a one-time president of the United States of America, who universalized democracy as a model for good governance. Moreover, contextualizing democracy in Nigeria's situation, one may assume that the multiplicity of the Nigerian society may not allow democracy to thrive well in the country. The reason being that Nigeria is peopled by individuals of different and diverse backgrounds. But this is in actual sense not the case, because the unity of the country was planted on diversity. Diversity therefore implies that our differences as a people should be harnessed into a common good for all of us. That is why democracy is very germane for our national development. The size of the country in the first place should be seen as the plus in a democracy, because it gives the people an enormous international honor and recognition. One thing that is unarguable in the discussed history has shown that the only way to live in peace and unity in Nigeria is to imbibe in the democratic principles. This is because one of the things the various military regimes in Nigeria have introduced is the divisiveness. tribalism, nepotism, corruption, and impunity were all introduced by the military to fuel their continuous reign in power. Those lamentable days of military dictatorship dragged Nigeria into a civil war, the worst experience the country had ever faced. Since the war ended in 1970, the country had never been one until democracy brought us respite. The return of democracy in Nigeria on the 29th of May 1999 ushered in a new era of development and creativity. The euphoria of freedom and mental relief that characterized it helped to engender peace and general tranquility across the country. Of course, democracy has been able to unite Nigerians more than ever before. The South, the North, the East, and the West are united by common goals of peace and good governance. The National Assembly stands as the archetypal symbol of national unity because it brings the various elements that constitute the country together in the phenomenon of legislation. This further re-engineered the spirit of oneness among Nigerians. Don't you all think so? Yes. Furthermore, it is also undisputable to say that democracy develops the mind and reorients the people. It emancipates the people and reawakens their consciousness to embrace peace in order to forge ahead in development. It is certain that with such consciousness, peace, unity, and stability in Nigeria are guaranteed. It is also imperative to state that in a democracy, people are always free to agitate for better opportunities, such as it is in the case in Nigeria and other countries of the world. However, people should not mistake such move as true federalism or resource control as anti-democracy. In short, those things are the beauty of democracy. What matters is not why there is an agitation, but how do we manage such dissenting views? Politics generally is about disagreeing to agree. Democracy enables dialogue, which makes it very easy for people to reach compromise. Dialogue is adjourned the best sine qua non for peace and stability. It enables people to iron out their differences amicably. After all, through dialogue, a lot of discoveries can be made on the way forward for the country. Democracy is the only vehicle of peace and stability for now in the world over. Permit me to end on this note that with democracy, the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. Democracy is indeed a tool for national peace, unity, and stability. Thank you very much.
My name is Daniel Chiolwe, and I'm here to explain to you how democracy is a tool for promoting national unity, peace, and stability. But first, what is democracy? Well, in the words of President Abraham Lincoln, democracy can be defined as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In other words, democracy is a system of government where the people have power and control over the state's affairs. This means that citizens of a state have a hand in the government. They can select their leaders and they can also remove them. This evidently puts the people in power. National unity is seen as the oneness of a state. National unity ensures that the state remains one indivisible entity. This national unity is as a result of hard work, which translates automatically to death of intertribal wars or religious intolerance. Peace, in the layman's sense, is the absence of war. But it is also a period where there are no civil disturbances or unrest. It is a period of tranquility. Peace brings personal harmony in the home, and this extends to the whole country. Stability is seen as the state of being fixed and quiet. A stable nation will suffer no threats which may jeopardize her peace. Stability ensures that there is steady and rapid growth and development. This in turn brings about a firm and strong economy which will grow in leaps and bounds. Having defined all the necessary terms, it might interest you to note that as an emerging democratic nation, Nigeria is on the path to greatness. Since the democratic system allows the people involved to choose their leader into power and do as they want in governance. the people are more likely to be very cooperative with their representative. Taking a cursory look at Nigeria, it's very obvious that we have progressed tremendously in this.
That the law is supreme and that everyone is equal before the law. This means that everyone will be punished in the same way for the same offense. This will promote peace and justice in society, which in turn will promote prosperity in the land. Democracy promotes stability by allowing citizens to have their fundamental human rights. These include freedom of movement or speech and, of course, voting. In this way, the citizens are able and free to express their thoughts, actions, and move where they please. They are also entitled to life, meaning that the citizens cannot be killed or kill anyone by law. This vice, as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, support the rapid growth and wealth of the nation. Democracy brings good governance, and good governance brings good jobs. With adequate jobs, more people will be employed, and the idle hands around will be reduced. It is normal for everyone to know that an idle hand is the devil's workshop. When the Nigerian youth is meaningfully engaged, crime rates will drop, and less criminality and rancor will be noticed. This good governance in Nigeria will invariably bring in foreign countries, as tourists would want to visit all our beautiful tourist attractions. On the part of the citizens, they have obligations to contribute to the nation to promote national unity. For example, voting. To vote for the right leader certainly promotes unity in the state. Also, when the citizens obey the law by paying their taxes, they contribute to the nation's budget and help to promote stability in the nation's economy. Lastly, democracy gives an environment for young businesses to grow. In Nigeria, despite some challenges and setbacks, some businesses are booming. The music sector, for example, is increasing with our very own local music stars like Burna Boy, Davido, Yemi Alade, and the rest of them smiling to the banks. The money derived from this sector will boost the economy of Nigeria. I hope that with my points, I have been able to portray the fact that democracy indeed is a tool for promoting national unity, peace, and stability. Thank you all.
It's P. Samuel from Wisdom Field Model Academy, and I am presenting a paper on the topic Democracy as a Tool for Promoting National Unity, Peace, and Stability. Democracy is a system of governance by the people, for the people, and of the people. This was the explanation given by the former president of the United States, which is, what is it? Oh yes, his name was Abraham Lincoln, the former president of the United States. And debate about the concept and relative importance of democracy in development have been going on for decades, and questions were raising, for example, like, should development be independent of democracy? Is democracy really good for development? No, nobody had answered the question for a very long time now. But I have come here to give an importance of democracy, why democracy matters for development. They include democracy provides the people with elected officials to represent themselves, which means that the people have the right to vote for who they want and who they want to be chosen as their leader. And also, democracy is the best possible guarantee against the abuse of power. And the person who said that was Judge Reitmer, Senior Advisor at the Executive Industry Transparency Initiative. Democracy matters because it is not only an end in and of itself, but also an instrument for change and in development processes. A stable democratic environment promotes mineral wealth, which in turn ensures economic growth. And economic growth translates to job creation, improvement in health provision, and spurs poverty eradication, making the individuals and country better. After the organization of African unity was turned into the African Union, many African leaders realized the need to really build a foundation for democracy and good governance across the continent. Democracy also allows the reign of peace, stability, good governance, and human rights as foundation for development and stable societies to be promoted. Peace, security, stability, and good governance are prerequisites for development and social cohesion. Resolving the continent's many conflicts has been a top priority for the AU and its partners over the last decades. The payoff from this effort is that Africa has witnessed a dramatic decline in number of conflicts.
Of the Africa Charter on Human and People's Rights, as well as the implementation of the Africa Human Rights Strategy. Achieving national unity expects that dialogue and tolerance must be encouraged by the various tiers of government in order to achieve multinational unity, peace and stability. Most European countries have been able to apply up to 80% of its principles for achieving civilization. Thank you.
Celebrate them. Celebrate them for me. Celebrate them for me. Today, nothing would have brought me out of my house. Nothing. I just wanted to stay indoors all day. But when the organizers kept putting pressure on me and they mentioned that this is students, young people, oh my God, my entire energy, I had to stretch myself beyond limit to make sure that I honor this event. Because at the age of 19, that was when I started my leadership organization. That today is a blessing, not just in Nigeria, for the world. I was only 19 years old when I became a CEO of Guardians of the Nation International. Just left secondary school. School prefect, senior prefect of government secondary school Owerri. And you could imagine that for 20-something years of my life, I'd been on this message. And like my friend, I just ran for governor in Imo State. Just this last election, I ran at 44, at the age of 44. I ran for governor. And just sitting and listening to this young person, and I realized that with all the energies and resources and talent and resource in my head, I thought, everybody thought Linus Oke was one of the most qualified. But you still realize that the space does not enjoy any form of democracy at all. Because people are not allowed to make their choices. And these young people, you're not speaking to us here today, you are speaking to Nigeria, to wake up and practice real democracy. That's what you're telling our people in this country today. And my only message for you today is very simple. I want you to go home today with something I have simply called cash. Not C-A-S-H. K-A-S-H. I'm talking to people that will be in a page of newspapers in a few years from now. The people I've seen in this hall will occupy positions in this country. And I am going to be talking to you today based on the role you're going to play in the now and in the future. So I want you to take this message as a big brother message to those who will be leaders of our country. Not just now, those who will be governors, ministers. I could see their eyes. I could see their voices. I could feel that hunger that you will make a difference for this country. You will make a difference for this country. I could feel that energy. So take this message home. The first thing I'd like to let you know, that everyone seated in this hall, you are leaders, extraordinary leaders. And because you're leaders, you must understand the meaning of cash. K-A-S-H. So I ask you to go for cash. Don't go for C-A-S-H. Go for K-A-S-H. When you go for cash, guess what happens to you? You will build the foundation for your prosperity in all ramification. So first thing you must do is you must deepen your search your hunger for knowledge. The K represents what? Knowledge. The world today is filled with pursuit of what? Of knowledge. Nobody is interested about which background you come from anymore. You can come from a poor home, but if you can pursue knowledge with everything you've got and seek it with the whole of your heart, hunger for learning something new, you must learn something new every day. Stretch yourself beyond the limit. Become somebody who is craving to learn about the future, about the past, and to learn about what is relevant today in your field. If you become somebody who is hungry for knowledge, you know one thing, how many of you know you're no longer competing with your classmates anymore? You are now competing with your very best of friends in London, in Singapore, in America, in India. That's the truth of the matter, because globalization has happened. And what it means is that if somebody in this hall today who has a phone, is anybody has a phone here? Anybody with a phone? A selfie phone. You want to take a selfie with a phone. You have a good phone. Is there anybody? Let one person step out. Let me show you something. Come and take a selfie with me if you have a phone. Just come out. See what happens. So she's coming right now to take a selfie with me. Guess what happens? As she takes the selfie, the world is standing at peace right now. So you take the selfie. So she takes the selfie with me right now. Okay, great. So I smile, right? Good. I smile, right? And she takes the selfie. Now, if she posts this selfie on her social media page, whether it's on Instagram or WhatsApp or Facebook, what happens? What happens? Somebody in New York is going to do what? Like it immediately. What it means is that the world is no longer, the world is now small in my fingertips. It means that whatever you do today, it will be heard in somewhere far away, in Singapore and other parts of the world. The message you are giving to Nigeria today is already heard in New York. It's already heard somewhere that you don't ever imagine. So what it means is that your competition is no longer Nigeria. Your competition is where? With other young people around the world. So when they are growing, you can't complain. You too will have to hunger for knowledge and get the knowledge and do what? Become the best, so that when you compete with Americans as well. That's the first message, all right? Knowledge becomes your friend. Number 2 is attitude. Is what? Attitude. The kind of attitude that I want to see young people put together right now is the attitude that says, I am a winner at all times. It doesn't matter the kind of environment we're growing in. It's that Nigeria will make progress despite of what is going on here. Does that make sense? The winning mentality, the mentality that says, I fail today, I rise tomorrow. Does that make sense? The never say die spirit, the courage to conquer that Nigeria is difficult, but I will leave a legacy in this same country. That's the kind of spirit I want you to. Not a spirit of quarreling amongst yourself on social media. You need a spirit that says, we are brothers and we will make a difference together, respecting one another. That's the type of spirit I want you to go with.
Absolutely. So the next thing I want you to be able to is a skill. Pick up a skill. Just one, not 2. What did I say? Start now. This is the best age to pick up a teenager, right? I want you to start picking up a skill. What do you want to be known for in this world? What doesn't matter whether it's fashion school, it doesn't matter whether it is a film school, whatever that you want to, whatever skill, whatever you do. Leaders don't tell lies, do they? So habits of telling lies. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you're already awake, planning your day, habit in society. Do you know anytime you develop a good habit, you know what happens to you? You grow. What is what? The third one is what? And the last one is what? Guess what? It was my mentor, Dr. Martin, who inspired, motivate, drive a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation. Or that if you young people today, I want you to be leaders that will influence this generation and lead together, pull this event together that has touched my soul, touched my heart, because this is the future of this. This is what Nigeria should be supporting. For me as an individual, I will like this, I will have a close-knit meeting with you and see how I can support you. There are 2 per state. All of them were under 18 years old. And I said, Aaron asked me a question, Mr. Linus Okorie, what do you do for a living? And I told Aaron that my job is... I looked at Aaron, a 17-year-old boy. I went to work at Atlanta. He sent me an email. He said, Mr. Linus Okorie, based on our conversation, I have... What do you think about... Wow. I realized that America spends $180 billion every year to create programs. For Nigeria to make progress, it starts with things like this. I encourage you, keep at it, and then we wish Nigeria well. And I wish you well too. Congratulations. And the project today.
Not lie. Okay. I wanted to say I'll get my first house. So I can. But 19.
God forbid, if we don't do well with this economy and take the right decision, God forbid, winter is coming. Having said that, these are our greatest assets. I usually make this example about the top 6 companies in the world by market capitalization. That's by market value. The top 6 companies are, you know them, right? Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook. Which one did I leave out? Google, and of course, Alibaba. Each of these companies, each of them in terms of their market value, is bigger than the Nigerian economy, the GDP. So each of them is at least $500 billion. The most expensive, which is Amazon, is over $1 trillion. But what that means is that Nigeria's GDP is about $420 billion, meaning that the entire goods and services produced in this country in a given year, even if we don't spend 1 naira to eat food, we cannot buy Facebook off Mark Zuckerberg. Now, what that tells me again is that these are opportunities. Some of these people, they started their companies as mere students, just like Linus Okorie. But they started as mere students. And also they started out trying to solve problems for the world. They took on the world. They realized there were issues. Even before the world knew there were issues, right? So they knew, I mean, Steve Jobs and Microsoft guy, Bill Gates, they solved the problem of computing, personal computing, even when the world felt, who's going to need a computer? When we were growing up, what a computer meant was one huge box. Even the entire storage capability of those huge boxes, which they used to call mainframe in those days, your phone, your mere simple Samsung phone, can store sometimes 100 times the entire, data that you needed a mainframe that will fill this entire room to solve. Innovation. And so I tell myself that, look, if we could find just 10 Nigerian youths, or maybe 100 of them, and encourage them to take on issues that pertain to the entire world, perhaps first of all by trying to solve problems that pertain to Nigeria. You know what? If they can create companies like some of those companies that I've mentioned, even if they can create a company that's won 100 those companies, if we had 100 of them, we would have ended up doubling this economy called Nigeria. 100 youths can double this economy. 10 youths can double. 1 youth who can create the kind of value that Steve Jobs and co have created can actually double this economy. 1 person. So you now ask yourself, what's the resource? Is it crude oil? Is it tantalite and columbite? Is it cocoa? Is it agric? We know exactly what the issues are. But let me quickly move on. That Lee Kuan Yew used to say one thing. I mean, of course, everybody quotes Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. Great leader, wrote the book, From Third World to First, How They Were Able to Move. But there's one very interesting thing he used to say about democracy. He believed that the biggest demographic in any democracy are the unborn children. That whenever you're taking a decision, to be or not to be, should we increase taxes or not? Should we spend this crude oil money or not? Should we reduce the members of House of Reps? Or should we scrap one of them, maybe between House of Reps or Senate? That the biggest vote should go to the children unborn. You see, Lee Kuan Yew wasn't quite a very big fan of democracy. Equally, as you may find out, great thinkers like Socrates and Plato, because they made it very clear, even when they were starting this whole idea, that democracy will only thrive among very enlightened people. And that's why we have a problem in Nigeria, because unfortunately for us, we have about 92 million people that are extremely poor. They can't even afford food to eat. So how do they take the decision? It should be an enlightened decision to say, this is the person I want to govern me in the next 4 years. It's not a case of, oh, they gave me 2,000 naira, this guy is nice. He gave us half a bag of rice. He's a kind man. And of course, those of us who can't afford to give.
And the majority will always have their way. Whether that majority are very poor people or on. One of the joys we have in our society, where the children of the rich will go to the private school and the rest of them will go to the public school. When I was campaigning, I went to the Burning Kelly and Co. I would stop my small convoy of 3 cars and say, anytime I saw a public school, we go in there. And in your state, I did a spot check on our public school system. And unfortunately, what I discovered, especially that had 1,500 eager students who wanted to learn, innocent children. The greatest, they had 0 teachers. On a Monday morning, all the children were just playing. And I said, look, this is egregious. The leaders of this country are not. Don't let's believe we inherited it from our ancestors. We did not inherit crude oil from our ancestors. Well, we heard that said a lot. Oh, God bless them. But where the sister is the best kind of government, in spite of all others.
Illegal fishing, the drugs trade, terrorism, extremism, fundamentalism, and criminalization of a ransom seeker, such as kidnapping. Any other criminal network rising the urbanization and large proportion of unemployed youth adds to the vocality. Africa women's political participation and decision making is second only to developed countries and Latin America. Although this has not kept pace with economic empowerment, at the continental level, many instruments and processes have been developed to promote democracy and good governance. Yet, many challenges remain: corruption, weak public service, poor service delivery linked to weak local governance, etc. Women, youth, children, and PWD continues to suffer most from the consequences of violence and conflict on Africa continent, including the issue of child soldier. The Commission will work aggressively with member states, United Nations, and civil societies, women and youth groups to reduce and mitigate the effects of conflict on children, women, and youth, and to strengthen their involvement in peace building, conflict prevention, and mitigation efforts. Records and member state institutions are the principal directors in the implementation and monitoring of actions on the ground, working closely with the NPCA. Thank you.
Teachers in attendance, fellow students, and ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Ogunleye Torlowa from the Legislative College, and I'm here to present a speech on democracy as a tool for national peace, development, and stability. Man is proud by nature. This pride is what makes man volatile and so crave freedom. It is this pride that compelled hundreds of slaves to jump into the Atlantic rather than live lives of drudgery and servitude so far from the comforts of their fatherland. It is this pride that directed Obama Mbaisi to refuse to give up political power to the British, despite the pleas of his chief to forget self that Benin may live, in their words. It was this pride that led so many Nigerians to turn out to vote on June 12, 1993 for Moshood Olawale Abiola in what is widely acclaimed to be Nigeria's freest and fairest elections yet. A person can hardly be happy if forced to be subservient to the wishes of another, yet this is exactly what happened under the military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida. The pride within each Nigerian stirred, and so on that day, Igbo and Yoruba, Christian and Muslim, all came out to make their voices heard. Out with the autocracy, give us our democracy, we want our freedom. Hardly has it ever been recorded in the history of Nigeria that in a country so divided under socio-political, ethnic, and religious lines, that people were so united for one cause. Yet, in the face of an autocratic ruler and the promise of democracy, the promise of a free and fair country where every man's vote was important, the people were galvanized towards one goal. It is a common saying that united we stand, divided we fall. Democracy is one system of government that will always ensure unity and thus peace. How does this relate, you might ask? Rebellion begins when a section of the population feels that it is being marginalized by the government and has no proper avenue to voice their grievances, thus riots, boycotts, and the likes. Soon, the military and the police step in to keep the peace, and hordes of marginalized and innocents are brutalized and imprisoned. Let's take the case of the Niger Delta as an example. Formally and traditionally, the people of the Niger Delta were fishermen and some farmers. Their pride, their self-worth was in these occupations, and they derived their happiness from their occupations. Then the problems began with oil. And then so all of a sudden, their land was no longer fertile, and their water was no longer fresh, they could no longer fish. So what were they meant to do? And then someone who would be already working at the crack of dawn was at home with nothing to do. And then first of all, there was disbelief, then sadness, then the anger set in. And when the man picks up his gun and goes out, what are you going to say to him when he has nothing to do, when his pride has been broken? Then the governor would declare a state of emergency, people should stay at home, and then it is no longer stable. Democracy as a system of government is all for majority rule and minority rights. Such situations would then be easily avoided. And on the topic of unity, Nigeria's resources are spread all over our country, and specific cash crops and mineral resources are concentrated in areas controlled by specific tribes. The north, which is assumed to be mostly Hausa, has an arid climate that is perfect for growing cereals, and the southwest is known for its cocoa, etc. Now, when the resources and the ideas of the different people of Nigeria are pulled together, our nation will surely develop quickly and well. The unity resulting from democracy will result in a situation where people are able to live together and share resources to develop Nigeria into a much better place to be, rather than a degenerate dystopian state where people fight, and all because someone was not given the chance to be heard through a free and fair election. This was the situation that led to the Civil War, when the Igbos felt that they were being marginalized and would not have a say, and could not have a say in the way their country was being run. Finally, I believe that democracy is truly an effective tool for national peace, development, and stability. It embraces man's freedom and thus pampers his vanity, or in this case, pride. Thus, democracy should be properly adopted, with the tenets of the rule of law properly followed as a system for managing this country, in contrast to an autocratic government. Thank you.
Continued to be under control of the British until in 1960, when Nigeria got her freedom from self-rule from the British. Since then, one identity of Nigeria as a nation is its sociocultural identity and diversity. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, many religious denominations, a variety of crops, vegetation, and topography. With a nation such as this, something had to be done in order to promote national peace and cohesion. In other words, if our diversity is not properly managed, it will constitute a bombshell. If properly managed, however, it could be a source of strength to us as a nation. It is curious that humanity likes variety, as man soon becomes disenchanted with monotony. As earlier defined, democracy is majority rule. It is democracy that gives equal representation to every part of the country. After independence, the country has had a lot of struggle entrenching its democracy. The military had on several occasions taken over the country, and many people had lost their lives. Now today, we are having two important days dedicated to our democracy, May 29th and today, June 12th. Nigeria has made its choice for democracy as a result of the gains that could be derived from the system vis-a-vis our peculiar circumstance. Remember that our coming together as a nation was not negotiated. We just all found ourselves here together as one. The United States is equally, if not more diverse than Nigeria, yet is the #1 country on earth. So what is the problem? Thus, what is paramount is to manage our diversity for maximum benefit. Thank God we have that tool in democracy. Democracy ensures there is equity, democracy ensures that there is justice, and democracy ensures that there is rule of law. Democracy is the only hope for Nigeria. In our country, the symbol of democracy is the National Assembly and the Constitution, which spells out how leaders are elected or removed, unlike in the military dispensation, where the rulers were forced and imposed upon people. Moreover, a presidential candidate must, for instance, win 2/3 of the total votes cast in 24 states in the country. These are checks that have been put in place to ensure that no part of the country is denied. Even political parties to qualify for registration must have national spread. Without democracy, certain sections of the country will feel left out of the scheme of things. This can lead to instability. The question at this moment is, since we have democracy in this country, why then do some of the sections of the country feel sidelined? Why are there so many agitations and talks of restructuring? Why is there so much instability created by Boko Haram, farmer and herder clashes, Mossop among others? Why are we yet to achieve national cohesion or unity in spite of the democracy we have been practicing? First, to answer these questions, we need sincerity of purpose. We must seek to understand other people's point of view, devoid of selfishness. The story was once told of Sardauna, who had in response to Chief Awolowo's counsel that they should forget their differences and live in peace and unity, that it was not possible to forget their differences, but rather they could understand their differences. To Balewa, how is it possible to forget one was a Hausa or a Yoruba or an Igbo? No, it's not possible. But yet we can be understanding and be accommodating. Secondly, another thing to enable us enjoy the full benefit of democracy as a tool for promoting national unity, peace and stability is to fashion a democracy based on our need. You can call it a homegrown democracy. This is a kind of democracy that is not just imported hook, line, and sinker from the West. It may interest you to know that before the West introduced us to their democracy, we in Nigeria and indeed Africa at large had a form of democracy which you may loosely describe as chop by chop. Our societies ensure that if a family or section enjoyed something, it was passed round so others could have the benefit also. This was done to avoid the feeling of dissatisfaction. Leaders were also appointed democratically through the Council of Elders. This is to say, in other words, that democracy has always been a part of our existence. Western-style democracy thrives on literacy. Here we are largely illiterate. Vote buying, poverty, underage voting, election rigging, and violence are as a result of using a wholly foreign system. Lastly, our homegrown democracy should give women prominent positions since they are an important part of the society. Do you know that women make up 49.9% of the country, men make up 50%? Only a 1% difference. So, leaving the women out of things and just engaging the men, of course the country will be a half-baked country. Lastly, in conclusion, although democracy has the potential of promoting peace and unity in our nation, until we correct certain anomalies in the system, hopes achieving peace, unity, and stability will be a mirage, a normal fantasy. Thank you.
Ladies, I have sat down there and I listened to all of you. Yes, you are correct. With your definitions, you are very, very correct. But there is one aspect of democracy that you all failed. And an upcoming one. I am of the opinion and ideology that democracy is not only about the majority. I thought you would give me a round of applause there. Now, if we say democracy as defined by Abraham Lincoln is about the majority, then it is not about the people. Democracy, from my own point of view, and what I want to plant in you, to redefine democracy henceforth, and will also tell the first world countries to redefine democracy, that it is also a calculation that could enthrone the minorities. You will bear witness with me that from history, just recent past history, one of the American presidents, recent President Barack Obama that you know, is from the minority, you know, from the black American minority. Their population is made up of about 18% of American population. He became the president of America. And in this country too, Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, is from a minority state in Bayelsa. You understand? Bayelsa has just 9 local government then. He became the president of this country. And of course, there are states where it is said the minority cannot become governor, especially a state like mine. I may not have the cash, but I have the will, I have the political will to become the next governor in Benue State. Men don't follow title, they follow courage. Achievement is not aimed just by dreaming, it is also aimed by calculation. When you wake up from your dream, what do? I gave you the first shot to become a leader at my grassroots, and I made it. It is all from calculation. It is all from mathematics. It is all from statistics. And statistics does not entail only inequalities. It also entails almighty formula. Do you understand me? So, you stole my heart, you especially, and I gave my time. Democracy also in Nigeria, let me remind you, is not about the 3 major tribes of Nigeria. I'm not talking about the Hausa, the Igbo, the Yorubas. The last speaker said we have 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria. So it will be injustice and imbalance and unfair and not transparent for just three tribes to be control a nation whose population is already more than 200 million. Therefore, we have to redefine democracy in Africa and redefine democracy in Nigeria, that it entails the calculation that should enthrone the minority into power. God bless you.
And they have good advice for you. I am not a judge here. I happen to just come in the pulpit here. I guess it's for a reason. I want to just say, if this kind of program can be put together, Nigeria will be a great country. We are dreaming to see a Nigeria that people like you have come out to air your views. You have, I'm sure you have tried you had times, you spent time trying to put this together. You have done great. I just want to say thank you, children. On behalf of your mothers that are not here, I want to say thank you, we love you. For children who are dying out there. And if this can be, I just want to television. You have done a great. God bless you all. Because if this can be the pattern in Nigeria, children will be free out there. We don't want children who are being led from one evil to the other. Social media has done it all, but we want to take the good part of it. I want to ask you, children. I am calling you children. I'm sure you are not happy, but you are still children. Huh? So, if this can be done continuously, Television Nigeria, this will not stop here.
You put in your best, but as it is a competition, definitely from the judge. One more time. So quickly, I'm going to call out the first 5. So if you hear your name, you can just come forward. All right. So we have Daniel Chidelue from Flora Home International. Let's appreciate him. We have Ginika from Loyola Jesuit Secondary School. And then we have God's Treasure from Command Staff Secondary School. God's Treasure. We have Oge Joy Benjamin from GSS Karu. And we have Ademo Koya Damilola from Bloom's College, Karu. All right, so let us appreciate every single one of you. You can go back to your seats. Let's appreciate them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. All right. All right, so just go back a bit. So we have Daniel Chidelue from Flora.
Please, a round of applause for Daniel.
And then we have Ginika. Just stand there. Ginika, and then we have God's Treasure. Alright, so this is our final 3, so you can go back to your seats as well. Now we're going to give our final 3 at about 60 seconds each to make their final presentation. 60 seconds.
This is a round of applause. Let's clap for them as they are just beginning to ginger their spirits.
Nigeria can be a democratic nation. Now, at this point, I would like everyone to raise up their hand. This is what happens when we portray our democracy. This is what happens when our voices are being heard. This is what happens when there's peace, when there's unity, when there's national stability. This is what happens when all of us, we come together and we say that we are Nigerians. This is democracy. Thank you.
200 million people in this nation. 200 million people, almost all of which are eligible to vote. Some people died just to give us voters card, to give us the enablement to be able to choose our leaders. Royalty will always remain royalty, but this grace was given unto us. We should not waste it. We should not sell it. And it's also a grace because this does not allow our leaders to be the one doing the innovation. Democracy gives us the grace to be the one to make our nation shine, to give our nation the hope that it deserves. It gives us the grace to be able to bring out the talent in us, to use it to raise our nation. It must not be wasted. Thank you.
My fellow students, contestants, and all present. Like I've said, I've shown you all the benefits of democracy. But how did we come to this? We all know that some people fought for us. Just like KMO Abiodun. He was the one who fought for us and others who fought for democracy in Nigeria. As we think about it, we know that people have sacrificed themselves for us. We must respect this sacrifice and make sure that we as Nigerians will understand their sacrifice. That we should also know that national unity, stability, and peace are not easy to come by in every nation. We should respect this sacrifice of our ancestors. Thank you all.
Wow, this result we had to compile. For my mind, I already have a winner. And he's at home, he's my son.
But as I have 100 more than applied online
sent in their the write-ups when we put out we called for this. It took us so long, we had to go through and read before we could come up with these few schools that had to come out here to do this. It's wonderful, it's fantastic. We appreciate you, we love all of you. You are all wonderful leaders, you are all wonderful speakers. Nigeria's future is bright. The future is bright indeed. Now, after all said and done, we have three future leaders standing here. They are representing all of you here who have done marvelously well. The first speaker, as in the best speaker of all, will be going home with a cash prize of 50,000 naira. Please put your hands together. That is in addition to the 25,000 naira that was announced by Mr. Linus Okorie. So you could do better also by foot clapping. The second person is going home with a cash prize of 30,000. And the third person will be going home with a cash prize of 20,000 naira. Yes, there are also some other benefits as well. They are going to get an educational sponsorship package, specially designed by Television Nigeria and their sponsors. We will be coming over to your schools to present these packages to you, especially all those people that wrote in for this competition, the ones that were shortlisted. At least we had three candidates from each of the schools that we selected, 3 of their write-ups. So you are going to be getting something. You are not left out. You are all winners. And also, these three winners here are going to participate in a leadership training camp in Botswana coming up in July. Isn't somebody excited? That will give them an opportunity to meet with young people. It's a kind of international exchange. They will meet with young people from all over Africa and beyond. We'll be sharing ideas, and when they come back, they will hopefully impact on each and every one of us. So we are all going to gain from whatever they are going to gain from that camp in Botswana in July. And also, they will be having a dinner. They will be having a dinner organized by Television Nigerian with Nigerian Millennium Achievers. Nigerian Millennium Achievers. So the date for this dinner will be communicated to you, to your school, to your parents. And also, in addition to that, they will be having a special appearance on Television Nigerian's breakfast show, Daybreak Africa, which is broadcasted in over 44 countries through Nigecomsat on the Strong platform and on Utelsat. Just tune to, I think, 45 degrees. If you have, east, 45 degrees east, you will get us live Television Nigerian on Nigecomsat Strong. Over 44 countries. And these youngsters will be there speaking their future, speaking their dreams to Africa, to the whole world. So, congratulations, we are all winners. Whoever wrote in, whoever participated, we are all winners. They are just standing in the front while you're lining up behind them as winners, as future leaders. While the prize is going to be announced, the winners are going to be announced.
You can do better than that. Appreciate them. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. So can our contestants please step forward? This is the moment that we've been waiting for. Just not too far, not too far out. Just okay. Like it's been said, we're all winners, but we have to do what we have to do. So in third place, drum roll. In third place, they're all tensed. In third place, we have Daniel Chidelue from Flora Home International. Let's appreciate Daniel. Come on, everybody. Daniel. All right. Okay. In second place, Ehimero, God's treasure. Oh, put a smile on your face, man, in second place. Let's appreciate him one more time, come on. And at this time, we already know who the winner is. Amir Obi Ginikachi from Loyola Jesuit College. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our winner for this Television Nigeria Leadership Series Democracy Day Speech Contest 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Ginika. And at this time, I'd like to hand over to Mr. Charles to take it from here.
Congratulations, Ginika. Congratulations. What is this? Ehimero, Godspeed. All right, and to make the presentation for the third prize, Mommy will be doing us the honor. Oh, for the first prize, for the grand prize.
That's a winner for today's competition. The next one is going to happen very soon. The judges, three of them.
Of Ehimero, the teachers of
Only you want to represent.
Very much. It's been quite a day. On behalf of Television Nigerian, with the staff, they impart the right leadership qualities to their friends, to their neighbors, taking it back home to them.
Today you emerge a winner for this contest, TVN Leadership Series Democracy Day speech. How do you feel?
Well, I actually feel happy and shocked because, I mean, looking at the first runner of his speech, I was just, in my mind, I was like, oh, wow. So I was really scared and shocked at first, and I just had to pull it up, and I really thank God for this opportunity.
The last 60 seconds, it was like a magic. How did you, how did you do that?
Actually, while I was listening to the other speakers, I actually thought about it in my mind that let me just give it a try, but I never thought that we would be given 60 seconds to talk. So when I give it the 60 seconds, I just remembered this sign, and then it kind of brought an idea to my mind, and I blew it up.
Okay, yes. Now you win 50,000 cash prize, and you have a trip to go to Botswana.
Yes.
And what do you have to say to your other peers when the other series edition of this sort comes out?
I would like to say to them that they should never give up, that they should always give it a try, that no matter what, there's always a day that you can be better, you can do very well. Okay. Yes.
Today is Democracy Day, and that's why you are here. What do you have to say to the Nigerian government?
I would like to say that it is good that our voices are heard, like I said within the 60 seconds, that our voices are heard, that we need to, it's one thing to be a democratic nation, but it's another thing to actually practice democracy. So seeing as today's Democracy Day, as citizens, we should remember what happened, the significance of the June 12th election, and try to implement it.
Thank you very much.